Welcome to .NET tutorial. Let us see what is .NET framework. First, why do we use .NET? There are main reasons for using .NET. First is interoperability. That is, different languages can interact with with .NET for better applications. Next is uniformity in schema. That is, we use XML and XSL for data transfer from one application to other without any inconsistency. Next is we can use existing code or that is existing valid code in the program. Next we have programming complexity that is reduced in .NET. Next we see what actually .NET framework is. They call .NET framework as a component model for the internet. Why is it so? Because it is a new approach to building large-scale distributed systems for the internet. It provides capability to integrate multiple devices built around the tools and protocols. That is, it uses XML and WADSL and SOAP and HTTPS protocols because these four things are becoming the standard on internet. Why was .NET framework designed? What are its goals? Component development for internet. That we can specify many components. We can develop our own components using .NET. Next is cross-language development. Cross-language development, that is, there are various languages can be implemented at same time, and other languages can be compiled and executed to make efficient program. We have inheritance, few concepts like inheritance, debugging, exception handling. That is, we can use inheritance in .NET framework. Debugging is better than various other softwares, and an exception handling is reasonably better provided in this framework. There are few frameworks, and the few frameworks like 1, 2, 3.0, 3.5, etc. Reliability and security are enhanced in .NET framework. Simple development and deployment, that is, we can develop simple applications with no or minimum code, and we can easily deploy applications. And it is device agnostic. That is, we can use .NET framework in PC or in mobile applications too. First, we should understand what actually .NET framework is. To do so, we should know about three things. That is, framework architecture, then web services, and key benefits of .NET framework. First is architecture. The first comes is operating system at beneath. Next is common language runtime. Next is base class library. Above it is actually ADO.NET and XML with ASP.NET and Windows Forms. Next we have common language specification, that is compiler. Then we have various languages like C#, VB, VC++, C++, and schemes. Base class library and common language runtime forms base framework, and ASP.NET, ADO.NET, and Windows Form forms XML service connectivity. Windows Form actually is for user interface. These all things combine to form Visual Studio.NET. This is actually the architecture of .NET. Next we have intermediate language. This is actually, the thing is, when various programs, we can code in various programs. Various code goes through intermediate language. This is then sent to common language runtime. This is actually just-in-time compiler. It gets the code on the spot from intermediate languages, and it decodes or compile it. It transforms to native code. This native code this understood by each and every computer, so it is very useful. Assembly language of CLR is also useful, and code is never interpreted. Next we have common language runtime. This is very important concept, and we should understand it. First we have class loader. Then above it we have just-in-time compiler, code manager, and garbage collector. Garbage collector and native compilers are very important, and it has a major role to play. Next we have security engine, debug engine, type checker, exception manager, thread support, COM marshaller. These are few other concepts which helps .NET framework reliable and popular one. Above it, all this base class library. We have lots of predefined codes called library and namespaces. We can create codes on our own. We can define it in base class so that we can call during our program execution. We should know about what is .NET classes. Actually, .NET classes are nothing but general classes called namespaces, in which we should define what type of function should it do. First is hierarchical and unified extension class libraries. Hierarchical, you can understand by the name itself that it inherits from its base class or its parent class. Unified means it is unique. It is unique, and the unique name exists for each and every base class library. And extensible class libraries, we can use the same code, same class library for another programs if it's defined already. We can provide system and base functionality and services. There are few services which will be dealt later, and everything is considered as an object. So OOPS concept can be applied. We have interfaces called services. You can create interfaces using the Windows application using VB.NET, or you can create a online application using ASP.NET. There are few data types such as bytes, single bytes, single double string, in16, in 32, in 64, etc. Common type system. That is, we have a common denominator for this. This is the basic, and this common denominator are used in each and every application with which it interact. Next is unified programming model. We have to understand this concept. First is OS API, operating system. Next, it can create web pages, it can create class libraries, and it can create graphic user interfaces. Using its power, like web pages are stateless code embedded in HTML pages. Class libraries are usually subclassing power, and it is used for expressiveness, and when GUI is used for RAD, composition and delegation. All this combined to form .NET framework. Next, we have XML Web Services Foundation, simple, open, broad, industry support. We have ubiquitous communications like for internet services. We have universal data format. We can transfer data using XML. We can provide service interactions. You can use SOAP. You can publish, find, and use services. You can use UDDI. Next, we have actually how .NET makes web services possible. .NET is built on internet standard protocols like HTTP, etc. Uses framework classes such as system.web.services. This is actually present in base class. It's already defined. So it uses protocols that are actually used in current trend. So there's no problem for interaction between internet. It enables communication through open standards like XML, SOAP, HTTP, etc. XML service description expressed with the WSDL. XML is used for data transfer in a specific format. SOAP is used like data transfer, like a basic wire format. Universal data discovery integration. UDDI is used with SOAP. HTTP is a command that is used currently for data transfer. The benefits remains the same, remains large. First is ease of use. It uses object-oriented model. So this object-oriented model is used. It can be extensively used better than structured language. It has many plus points. Next is namespace and framework structure. The namespace is almost unlimited, and a frame structure is something like that. that can be modified, and it is huge that people can create various applications. Then we have freedom to choose. The freedom is actually means we can use any language at any time. For particular code we can use C sharp, another particular code we can use VB. We can combine the both codes and create a single application, and we can execute it. The development tool that will take it easier to learn programming. It has simple GUI user interface so that it is easier to learn. Then is stability. Stability, it is the main concern of each and every software that is created. First, we should see that it doesn't harm or do malware practices while the program is running. That is, we should see garbage collection all should be monitored. Garbage collection means each and every time it interacts with other applications, it transfers data. This data is transferred to memory. So memory should be cleared each and every time the program is refreshed, or after every interval of time. The interval of time can be specified by user, or it can be default set by the application too. Assemblies eliminate DLL compatibility issues. For example, if we install a previous version of the .NET framework, and we use latest version of .NET program, that comes in incompatibility. This can be seen by various programs, but here in .NET it just asks for latest framework to be installed, and it compiles and executes latest program with latest softwares. Next is security. It's a major issue for restricting or containing the legal memory reference. That is, if any other program is interacting with .NET framework, it should not directly reach the code, or directly reach the main memory via .NET framework. So it should restrict other programs by entering into our main memory. Comprehensive security model is actually designed so that there are many steps to be passed. If it successfully clears all the stages, then only it can interact with a main memory of our PC. We have deployment and management. Deployment is a key factor for each and every applications. It can be easily .NET uses easiest tool for deployment and managing the code. It is unified experience working with .NET, and there are various web services in which awesome web application can be created. Now let us see an implementation. I designed a library management system using Windows application in .NET. To start with, go to Start, Programs, and Microsoft.NET 2003. Press New Project. Go to Visual Basic Projects or C# projects as you code. Press OK. Then the user interface is as same as Visual Basic. We can add buttons, text box, menu box, and other buttons to create an application. We can add forms, file, new, project to create forms and add forms, or you can do right click here, add the new item. In new item, you can select form, Windows form, or if you want to create a class file, you can create class file. Press open. I have created a sample application called Library Management System with forms, classes, and database. Click on File Solution file to open the project. I have designed few forms such as actions, which does search, return, manage categories, remove, add, remove, and change password. Add books to add books and remove books. Then we have categories to select category and add the category to it. Then change password form. We have a main form for as login form, other form for register user, another for return books. Select the book and press return. Then search to search a book with name or with category. Now first we have to create a database. So go to Start, Programs, SQL Server and Enterprise Manager. But we should have already created a database using SQL Server. Now this is SQL Server 2000 file. So maximize, then right click to the database, alt tags on attach database. Just you have to place a database in C:, program files, Microsoft Visual SQL Server, MS SQL, data, and my database files are library log and library data. This contains all the tables and records. Just show that the path to it. Programs, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL, and we have data here. Just click on this and press OK. Here it shows it already exists. So a library database is added here. We have 4 user tables such as library book categories, book details, book issue details, users as database. Now I execute the code, press debug. We have here how this project works. Username admin, password admin, go login. So we have admin has all the facilities. You can search book, return book, manage categories, add remove books. First we go to search books. You can search books by name or by categories. We have a category in which CSC, we have one book called Exploring C++ Used by Network. You can search by name also. Have written books, manage categories. You can add categories, for example civil. Add category successfully entered. You can add remove books. You can add books, for example A, B, C by author name, such ALL. You can add category in mechanical, quantity 5 books. Just add books successfully added to the database. These books we have to go to Enterprise Manager, that is Start Enterprise Manager. Then click on Microsoft SQL Server. Then down the hierarchy go to the database. Then in library, that is my database, we go to tables. In tables, check out for book issue details. Open all rows. Books and the users. Library users, go to rows. See the users. We have 4 users here, and the password are encrypted, so we don't get the actual password what user types. Using system or other users, and one for admin. the what books they have taken and what one type. 0 if they have not taken books. 1 for they have taken the books. Book details, book ID, book titles, ABC, the book just now added, 1006 for mechanical, the code for mechanical. One if the book is not taken, if it's in library. Now need to change password, type the old password, new password, confirm password, save, password changed. Now move on to other user. Click on register to register new user. Akilan, password, confirm password, user registered successfully. It open the table and check out if it's registered as Akilan, encrypted password. Just click on search books, IT, search. We have 2 books in IT category, author Vishwanathan, books exploring J++. If you want to take the books, go to category, IT, search, and if you want to issue, just click on issue. Author, do you want to, you sure want to this book? Yes. Book issued successfully. Issue details. Akilan has taken book on that day but not yet returned. Book details. Categories. You see 1006 is mechanical. So thank you.